Right. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Friday, September 29th, 2023. It's 10:02 a.m. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Jim Ricer.
Present.
Good morning, everyone. Top of our agenda today in old business is countywide cleanup. Mr. Martin, would you like to take this?
Yes, we put an ad in the paper to see who could entertain this project with the county. And we did have one bid come in, did go for the last meeting, and it was with the Public Services. And I guess what we'd like to do is clarify before we send out any notice of what we're going to do. A couple of items that we need to clarify. Number one is the date and time, establish that, and make sure what can be collected, what cannot be. So I've invited Gary Pearson, and Gary, I want to turn it over to you.
Okay.
We did have a little snafu, seemed like at the very end, but it got taken care of. We've been in contact with Mr. Hubbard. I had that note for both you guys. So we do have the occasion. Gary, if you'd like to kind of inform the board a little bit like what we discussed concerning Mr. Hubbard and your permit and everything, what it does.
Well, my name is Gary Pearson. I'm a division manager for Public Services, and this is Doug Qualley. He's our finance manager here at our office in Marion. And when we did this, we work with the IEPA, the agency. I work with daily sometimes with all these permitted facilities we have. But we wanted to ensure that we had the proper permits. So I had our engineer go through our operating permit at the Heron Transfer Station. And then I'm thankful that Jim actually contacted Garrison Gross at the region office here. Then it went up to Tom Hubbard. He is over permitting for transfer stations in the state of Illinois. So he came back and gave his approval to have that at that facility. I don't know if we would have really had to have that, but the EPA works, they're black and white a lot of times, everything they do. So, because we are permitted to take recycling at that transfer station already, but like the other goods that it's in this proposal, like the metals and the car batteries and the white goods and the electronics and the tires, that's stuff that we normally would pull out and have to sort off to the sides and just then properly dispose of. So doing this, we would have contacted them anyway to make sure we was clear. And so we have a company lined up to take the tires, and we have a company lined up, for all we'll take the recyclables and the plastic, and it'll go to a 40 facility in St. Louis, Republic of the metals, the car batteries, the white goods, and electronics, they fall in that same category. We have companies that's going to take all that. Only thing we're going to do the day of the event, we'll guide, the residents as they come in, where to go and help them get, unloaded so we can keep all the stuff straight. So everything will be loaded back out from that facility.
Gary, is there, other than a few items that we discussed, even at the board we discussed that we could not take, are there any items that we need to, when we post this and publish this, that we need to make sure we cannot take, other than like chemicals?
Yeah, well, the chemical, like what you got in here actually are the items that do with, like you can't take yard waste in the state of Illinois to a landfill. So, or debris. And the medical waste is the same way, like right next, for instance, now we just got a Sharpie container come out of a truck. We pulled it out, so we don't know who brought it, so we have to pay to have it taken care of properly. The chemicals, and I know you have no roofing shingles on there. that's totally up to the county, what the board wants to do with them. I mean, we can't take those.
You can take those,
There's on the other, they're heavy in weight, so
I guess. Say we're doing that or not, what's the opinion?
In my opinion, you know, machines.
I don't, if somebody had 3 or 4 women working the job at their house and they brought those in, that's one thing, but I sure wouldn't want to see a whole roof removal coming in or multiple roof removal. So I would lean towards no.
There are a lot of roofs being replaced here.
All right, then, we'll just cancel out the sheets.
yeah. I think that's probably a good call, The day of the event, we'll plan on, we'll probably cone that all off so we can check, make sure they're resident in Wilson County, like it's in the proposal. And we'll guide them through and of course, we'll have enough people on hand to take all that. And, hopefully keep it a good, smooth process. I know the last few years, up here at the highway department, it's kind of slowed down. There's always seems like a line at the beginning, so we're gonna kind of prepare for that. Just to try to keep it. And, this, the date on here, I think we're good with that date.
The 21st?
Yes, sir.
Any objections on the 21st?
And the time from
That 8 to 12
8 to 12.
would be a good time if you propose.
What about tires? Because tires wasn't mentioned in
Yeah, if you did mention tires.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say tires. So
Yeah.
tires was at
Yeah, no, we'll take the tires, and I did notice, I think you limited to 4 tires from each resident.
Automotive tires.
Automotive tires.
Automotive tires.
Yeah,
On that, we talked about wheel, no wheel.
you know what, it doesn't matter, they're gonna charge us the same rate, whether it's got a wheel or a tire, so it's built into it.
Okay.
Yeah, all these companies are different, they have different fees, but, the company we use, they try weight only, so it doesn't really matter to them.
Okay.
So you're not gonna take it, we should reject any commercial tires in today.
Right. And we'll put that on the ad, no commercial.
Yeah.
I think no commercial anything.
No farm, no
Yeah, farm,
commercial,
yeah.
no ATV.
That's totally up to what the county, yeah.
I would say them for automotive tires, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that we need to discuss on this?
I think we're good,
Okay, so as far as electronics, you're good with the electronics?
Yeah.
You're good with the white goods, including someone who could extract the, freon?
Yeah, they're gonna go through Simcoe. We've been in touch with Bud Carson, the owner over there.
Okay.
We've worked with him on a lot of stuff over the years. Electronics, I'm going through Southern Recycling, Carbondale, so they're disposed properly. The batteries will go to Simcoe. We're gonna set up a pallet for that, and we'll have a forklift there so we can handle them and load them back out for them.
Be interesting to see how many of those you get, because I know you can turn those into some meat places.
You're probably not gonna get any back, but we'll be prepared for
I just want to make sure that it's automotive batteries. No lithium.
No, I'd be surprised if we see.
Is there anything else that we need to think about?
Nothing more.
Does the board have any questions concerning this?
I do have one. I've seen the rates,
Uh-huh.
but for me, out of business, the rates mean nothing. Can you give me even an idea in 4 hours? What's going to be collected, what it's going to cost?
Well,
Just a rough number.
I don't know if I can. I can tell you this, that in the past, over the last 15 years, as far as, with C and D and MSW that would be brought in up at the county highway department, I used to go and help with a lot of those. And, we donated that for many years, the company did. It's slowed down a lot. I think the last one was held up there last year, wasn't it? Maybe 6 boxes was loaded out of the 8, 30 yards.
Yeah, it has.
And I can remember when we always took 8 boxes up there. I can remember the county would have maybe 8 or 10 dump truck loads too the next day, Monday to bring over. the transfer station. So it's really slowed down. I think it's changing it around because you're offering the recycling now and you never did before. Then, just all these different, metals, the batteries, the white goods and electronics. I think it's just gonna be a mix.
I might be able to give you a ballpark, I spoke with another transfer station on this whole topic. They said Murfreesboro had a 2-day event, and in that 2 days, they collected 32 tons of materials. That's in 2 days. This is only 4 hours. Right, so.
Well, and speaking of Murfreesboro, we used to do that years ago. And it's the same way, it's kind of, as the town's kind of cleaned up, it's kind of moved down.
So I would be surprised that we approach it. This is actually going to be, I think, to see how it goes. County.
I think you're probably the only county around that's kind of, just having offered all these different services. Instead of like a one-stop shop.
We'd like to offer this as a service to the residents. Very appreciated. Is there, sort of contract that we need to sign? Like that, or?
We'll put together a draft,
Okay,
just so we all agree on the same thing.
do that and we'll run it by our legal. Sign everything. Good. So,
Email it to you, Jim.
yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. You do that.
Thank you, Mr.
Well,
President.
we appreciate the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So Jim, you'll take care of the advertising on this also?
Well, we can talk about that. Go and how we want to. We'll bring that up in maybe the next meeting. And where that goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Moving on down, cybersecurity. Yeah, I think you have something on this.
I had included in your packet something that Rhett shared with, I think, all of us, but I just put it in here for reference. I think we discussed this last time. Rhett, this is a chairman can appoint, right?
Correct.
So we just need to get a document, chairman to sign. And I guess for us to agree on what I proposed last meeting, of using the FEMA director for our point of contact.
Can you talk about
I have.
Yes, sir, and I reviewed the document that was provided to Commissioner Razor from Rhett, and basically what you see on that piece of paper is the only thing that is included in the statute is that you have to appoint a local designee for population very like that. It doesn't even really specify what that person is supposed to do, other than serve as a point of contact for the Department of Innovation and Technology.
Okay, so we'll take care of that now. The motion to appoint.
I'll move to appoint the FEMA director as our point of contact for cybersecurity.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Ranger.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian, for standing up. I appreciate that.
While we're on cyber, this is still old business, but not on the agenda, so we need to add it and take some action. Spoke with James Mayer a couple of times recently. A couple of things have come up. One, they've been working on a solution to the issue in the courthouse, specifically with the PC gyms failing. They have found a hardware solution that when they tested it has succeeded, but we will have to add some hardware. Effectively what they're doing, they've been trying to talk to the two separate networks with one interface, and it just doesn't work for that software for whatever reason. They couldn't fix that. What they did was then they went to 2 physical connections per machine, one to connect to each network, and it seems to work. There's a very expensive solution, and that would be running all new lines to every computer over there. Or there is a less expensive solution that would use existing lines and add what they call a micro switch at each machine. They tell me there are 35 machines, and that will allow them to split at each machine. That's also a managed device, so they can control that from their office. So if there's an issue, they can check on it from there. They don't have to be here. I think I included that estimate, hardware in your packet as well. 35 switches and a handful of cables and such. The hardware comes up to about 1,800. And then there would be a little bit of labor doing the install on all that. They felt like it would be less than 4,000 total to solve that. Again, we don't have it on the agenda to approve today. We'll just give you a little bit of time to look it over, talk to them if you want, and get any more answers. But it sounds like they have a solution to a problem that's been going on for a while.
And you said they tested that, so.
They have tested it. They tested it trying to use wireless as a solution, and wireless in that building just is not a solution. Because what's left over from the jail just makes it difficult to get the wireless throughout the building. So they felt like this was the least expensive, most effective way to solve this one. So also in conversations with them, this has come up before, but I think it sounds like we need to do something on paper to contact Clearwave and adjust our contract with them. Originally, as I sat in on some of these talks, we talked about as we move away from paying Clearwave for phone service, we went to the new service through Mayor, that we wouldn't have a charge on phone. It turns out apparently our contract with Clearwave is for an amount, and we can't get that money back just by not using them for phone service. But what they've agreed to do is that we can transfer that money into more bandwidth, which will do nothing but help with some of the other issues we've had. Again, I don't have the document, we can't vote on it today anyway, but that needs to come up in meeting soon so that we can get that approved if that's what we decide we want to do to those dollars in bandwidth. It sounds like we're going to spend the money anyway, as long as we're in the contract and they're offering to turn off the bandwidth, and that will always help. It's a digital world, as we continue to move more and more documents. So that's coming up next week.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot, you know, we really talked about the ADA issues we have on the list. Did you have a session?
I did sit through some of that. I did not talk to Mayor. I watched a little bit of a webinar and did a whole lot of reading and research. I don't think it's realistic to think our operators can do what we need to do. It's not a lot of deep programming, but it looks like nearly every page needs attention. It's a lot more on scripted words. So instead of, there's a description on, let's say, the clerk's page, it should say Williamson County, Illinois clerk's page, so that anyone can look at it and tell which location it is, because clerk can be for any clerk's office anywhere. So it was a lot of just mundane, tedious going through every one of those descriptions. Every picture has to have a description that describes where it is to be fully compliant with the request. So I didn't feel like their request was out of line with the amount of time it's going to take. Just looks tedious. And the folks that we have on campus that do make adjustments to the webpage for us, I just don't think they have the time. That's my 2 cents on it, but I don't think their offer was outrageous for what needs to be done.
You don't know what. Okay, so then we should put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I think we can add that and get all 3 at one time.
Would you make sure that it was on the agenda?
Yep.
Anything else on cybersecurity?
No, sir.
Moving on down, animal control facility. I put this on the agenda not knowing if we needed it or not. Jim, is there anything on the animal control facility you'd like to add?
No, Mark Dillon is just waiting for us to contact him, so he's waiting up north.
We've gotten a couple of bids from, since we already approved that stuff. So at least one of the claims, there's another claim in there today.
All right.
So we're continuing on with that, they're continuing on with the work. I think some of this was over the design. So. Okay, anything else on animal control? Moving on down to health insurance. We've gotten to the point, I think, where we need to make an official change order date for the insurance. I think that time is now. You guys thoughts on this?
We still need to have discussion on plans, et cetera. And active collective bargaining, so I don't know if you guys wanted to have a closed session to go over that information prior to action, impact, or where you guys want to go.
We've not sat down and actually, we've seen, and that's what we need to sit down and talk about that. That's where we want to go.
Personally, I think it'd be a good idea to do a closed session.
No problems?
Discuss that. You can't vote on anything in closed session.
Okay.
Decide, at least see what direction we all feel comfortable on. And then come back.
Would you like to go into those now? Would you like to finish the last few items on the agenda? and do that after?
Finish the last few.
All right, guys, the auditor position, job description, I had asked Brett to put together a job description that mirrors the statutory job description for an elected auditor's position, which the county is within about 1,000 to 1,500 residents being required to have an elected auditor. And like I said, I asked Brett to put together that. I believe that was sent to you guys a few days ago. And what do you think? Have you had a chance to look through these? Do you have any comments? I've looked through them. It looks good to me, but I'd like to have you guys' input. If we can agree, like to get this sent out.
I think this is something that the county's needed for a long time, especially when it comes to auditing the county.
I think the state's attorney was agreeing with that. I think our external auditor has agreed with this. This is where we need to go. I agree, this is where we need to go. And Treasurer got, and I went up to Madison County a few weeks ago and met with the elected auditor. And having a conversation with him, and all the things that the internal auditor does, all the checks and controls. I think that we've reached that level in this government where we meet.
Would like to see this on our website as well, under the other things.
Yeah, well, and that's what we need to decide today is if we're going to post it, and I think we need to post it there, and I think we use the deed also.
Yeah.
And we get this job out. We want it approved, put it into the position. Just let's put the cover on this.
Thank you.
Okay.
The value of the position.
It is. Okay, so do we need to vote on this or, because I think we've already, want to vote on this?
Yeah.
Okay, make a motion to approve the Williamson County Auditor job description and to post it on our website and the other websites that we use for post jobs, and to start taking applications. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Okay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Jay?
Moving on down, highway, you got anything? Public comment, I guess we can handle public comment when we come back. Closed session, any of the miscellaneous business? Anybody have?
I
any?
have some ARPA stuff, but it can wait till the end of the meeting, so.
Okay.
you guys can-
All right. So is there someone will make a motion to go to closed session?
Make a motion to go into closed session citing 5 ILCS 120, section 2C2, collective bargaining matters, and 2C5, potential property purchase.
Second,
Second.
Jim.
Tim
Roll call,
Atkinson.
please. Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yay.
Jim Razor.
Jay?
At 10:28.